Open chain mobility neck. All right, to create open chain mobility for your neck or your cervical spine, you're going to want to go chin to the chest, and then you're going to look towards your left, and then you're going to look up towards the sky. This is going to roll you back to neutral, except for you're going to be in extended position instead of the flex position with your chin to your neck. Then you're going to look over to your right and then come all the way back to chin to the neck position. And then you'll go back the other way. That is 1 repetition. So with the open chain mobility for the scapula, we're exploring rotation with our scapula. The way we're going to do this is we're going to depress our shoulders and scapula down. We're going to protract it forward. Then we're going to elevate it up, and then we're going to retract it back. It will feel really clunky, but as you try to smooth it out, what you'll notice is you are creating more articulate rotation as well as the mobility of chest, shoulders, and interscapular muscles. This is typically done 1 shoulder at a time, but you're going to be raising that hand up, overhead extension, and then rotating that palm from in to out and going as far as you can until that palm is now down at your side as you roll that arm backwards and the palm is sticking out. Then you're going to go back in the other direction. Once you come back to the start, you'll do the requisite reps or you'll switch to the other side. So typically I like to cross my hands in front of me to keep my arms and hands from trying to give myself mobility and range that I don't actually have. Then I'm going to bring my chest down without bending at the hip or the lumbar and without trying to reach with my head either. And then I'm going to rotate to the right, extend facing my chest up, rotate to the left, and then depress back down or flex back down. With all of the open chain mobility, you're trying to create big circles for the joint. Now, the elbow joint isn't a rotational joint. It's not a ball and socket joint like the shoulder, but we can still kind of create some rotational aspect to that stretch by fully extending the elbow. And then you fully flex the elbow. Once it's fully flexed, then you rotate your hand all the way around and go the opposite direction, still extending that elbow. With open chain mobility with the hip, you're going to bring your knee up in front of you and then think about the knee as the driver for the hip mobility. So then you're just trying to circle your knee out laterally and then bring your knee as far back behind you as possible. And then you're going to bring that knee all the way back around in that same path back to the front position. And you'll do this obviously on both sides. Beauty of this particular controlled articulation is that it's incorporating rotational mobility and stability. So, stability for the balancing foot, and then mobility for the knee, the ankle, and the foot all at the same time. So, think about tracing the widest circle you can with your big toe and bring that all the way around and then going back the other way. You're lying on your back, feet flat on the floor. So your knees are going to be up, engaging those abs, bringing the shoulders down and back, thinking proud chest as you're pressing out from the floor. Your elbows are going to be resting on the floor and the dumbbells are going to be in your hand. You're going to be hinging at the hips. Think driving your hips back, abs nice and engaged, shoulders down and back. Squeeze the scapula together. And then you're rowing the dumbbells with your elbows to your side. And think about bringing the dumbbells back towards your hip. You're going to start with the dumbbells slightly above the shoulders. Think about having the dumbbells out away from your head, but resting so that your forearms are vertical or in line with gravity. And then you're going to basically extend your arms above your head in full overhead extension, unless you don't have the requisite mobility in your shoulders or in your lats. Basically, you're lying on your back, pressing the dumbbells all the way up over your chest, like you just finished a bench press with the dumbbells. And then you're dropping or bending at the elbow, dropping those dumbbells down towards your face, obviously in a controlled fashion, and then pressing them back up. It's a little bit easier to do it with a neutral grip and to have the dumbbells pressed together. It's a little bit harder to have the palms up towards the ceiling as you're doing the tricep extension with the dumbbells separated. palms are going to be facing out, arms down at your side with the dumbbells in hand, and then you're curling up, trying to keep the elbows tight to your side so the elbows aren't moving forward and back and the elbows aren't moving outward as you curl up, bringing that hand all the way as high as you can towards your shoulders and then lowering it back down to the starting position. The overhead tricep extension in the standing position, you've got both dumbbells in your hand. You go into that overhead extension with your arms fully pressed out up overhead, and then you're dropping those hands down, bending at the elbow, forcing the triceps to decelerate that movement or do the eccentric part of the movement, and then pressing it up overhead in that tricep extension, right? Engaging the triceps. So with the hand clasp, chest stretch, you're reaching behind your back, clasping your hands together, interlocking your fingers, and then lifting up those arms behind your back as you open up the chest. But the hand clasp chest stretch is a great stretch to move into to open up shoulder mobility, open up chest mobility, and otherwise open up the torso. With the cross body stretch, you're taking one arm, extending it across your body, and then taking that other hand and pulling that arm in towards you. Slow and steady stretches. And then once you get to your end range, I like to use breath to help increase the static stretch. So as I breathe in, I hold. And then as I breathe out, I try to create a little bit more of a stretch with that arm. So with the hand clasp wrist roll, you're clasping your hands together, interlocking the fingers, keeping the palms pressed into each other. You're going to create a circular rotation with your hands. The circular rotation is a wrist roll. You can roll in a total circle and then go the other way, or you can roll in a figure eight pattern. Okay, with the world's greatest stretch, it's a plank with a leg stretch and then an upper torso and a shoulder stretch. So as you're stepping into the position, you're going to want to try to step as close to where your hand is as possible. And then you're going to reach up on one side and then replace that hand and then reach up on the other side. So make sure that you have good stability before you start reaching. If any of this is painful, stop immediately and do way less. So with this lat stretch, you're going to be on your knees. Think about having your hips as high as possible. You're reaching in front of you, fully extending the arms, trying to drive your head and chest down into the ground as your arms, your hands, your elbows are reaching up as high as possible. You should feel your lat or latissimus dorsi, the muscles below the armpit and on the back.